Today, let's talk about this idea of a developer in Africa always wanting to relocate abroad for greener pasture. Should I be in my country in Africa and be a developer building solutions to help develop the region, or I should travel abroad, maybe go to US or go to Canada or go to the UK or somewhere in the West to go and be a software developer there? Which one would you prefer? Because on my own, I prefer being in Africa to be a developer. I'm a developer, and as I speak to you, I'm in Nigeria, and it has not been so bad. It has its own peculiar challenges, but it has not been so bad. I see a lot of young people, they go into software development, and after maybe 6 months or after 1 year, when they feel they can develop application, they start looking for opportunity to get a sponsored job abroad, so they can travel abroad to go and be a developer. And I am thinking on the contrary. I don't think that way. I feel I like to be where there are a lot of problems, because as a developer, I'll thrive more here than being in a place where all the problems have been solved. As a software developer, what you do is building solutions to solve problems. Building solutions to solve problems. I feel I will thrive more in an environment where we have a lot of problem solvers trying to solve the problems on ground. Of course, software starts from problem. The moment you see a problem, you now think of building a solution that will solve that problem. Good. So if I travel abroad, maybe I go to the US or I go to the UK or France or wherever I go, those places are very developed. Those places are very, very developed. And of course, they have their own peculiar challenges and problems. But you don't have much developmental problems in those areas the way we have here in Africa. So each time I move around, each time I look at news, I read journals, I see opportunities. Because the more I see problems, the more I see an opportunity. When developers in Africa start developing solutions to all those problems, they become more wealthy. And I also realize that a lot of the world is looking at Africa, right? A lot of young people now are starting up businesses to solve some of these problems that we face in Africa, across any industry. Some of them are building drone technologies. Some of them are building logistic companies. Some of them are building solutions to some of the problems. And looking at what is happening in Africa, I like to be in that kind of system. That is why I still prefer to be in Africa. Another point is the world, US or America, where people travel to, where other young developers want to travel to. They should also know that place they are going to, when you are there, you are going to compete with a lot of people, because you have other developers from Asia, from different parts of the world, coming to that US or going to that UK or Canada that you are into. So you compete with a lot of international genius, international people who are very good at their craft, just the way you think you are good also. So you compete a lot. But in Africa here, because you are good, you know your onion, people who want to develop solutions will always come for you. They will always locate you. So there is always job for you. People talk about the money, that the currency, the money is small. But in Africa, when I'm living in Africa, if I have $2,000, for instance, $2,000 would do a lot for me here in Africa. than it would do for a developer that is in US or that is in the UK or that is in anywhere in the West. So talking about the currency, being in Africa, I can do a lot with the money I earn from development. And as I am here now, I also do remote jobs. I get jobs from Canada, I get jobs from US, I get jobs from France, UK. So I build application for people all over the world, but I am here in Africa. So what's the point traveling to the US? Going through all those stress just because I'm a developer. I want to be in the US when I can be in Africa and still build application for people in the US. I know there are challenges. People talk about security. People will talk about power. Yes, we face those challenges here in Africa, but every region have their own peculiar challenges. Even in US, in UK, in those developed places, they also have their own challenges. We have power problem here. We have adapted. I've got solar, I've got generator, and the power is improving. The power is improving. So we always sort out ways to solve our challenges. So if you are a developer out there and you think otherwise, or you have an advice for me, or you also believe in what I am talking about, I think you should drop your comment. Let's talk about it.